everybody. It's Cindy here, and I just feel like doing a little bonus video today. I don't know, it just felt like I was led to share a poem, a particular poem that I have in my little book here that's called a collection of poems, and it's Cynthia K.W. Sherrard. And of course, my dogs are barking right when I'm getting ready to share with you. This particular poem actually does have a story that goes with it. When I was a teacher several years back, I had a student that I kind of started developing a friendship with the grandmother. The grandmother was helping raise him. The father was working, and his mother, the child's mother, had passed away from cancer. And it was shared with me that she actually found out she had cancer while she was pregnant with her son. The boy's name was Jesse, and he was a sweet kid, kind of shy, but just really sweet, and just was a good student, and very conscientious, and just the kind of kid that every teacher loves. But it was a Christian school, so it was just small classes, and we got to really get to know the parents of these students. And the grandmother had shared with me about how, it was her daughter that when she was pregnant with Jesse, she was working at a doctor's office or for a hospital, and I think she was starting to feel like something was wrong. And so while she was working, one of her fellow co-workers did some scans and all, and they found out she had cancer. It wasn't just like a simple thing where they just did the scan and found out. It was like a process. But she knew that she had cancer, and she knew the doctor she spoke to was basically telling her it wouldn't be, a long time after she had her baby. She wouldn't do the chemo because, she was pregnant. And so she knew it wasn't going to be long. And when I got home from work, from teaching, I just felt led to sit down and write a poem. Usually when I wrote poems, it was like one of those things where I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and this poem would be in my head, and I would get out of bed and I would get on the computer and I would start typing, because it would happen so fast to where I had to type it. It was just flow. And this particular poem, it was flowing out of me. It was like right I got home from school. I was really thinking about Jesse and the whole situation with his mom and with his grandmother and the whole story. And so I sat at the computer and I was crying, and I felt like I wasn't typing. It was one of the situations where I felt like somebody else was typing for me. I just felt like somebody was putting the words in my heart, and the next thing I know, this poem came out of me, and I finished the poem and I typed it up, and I always had my mother look at everything, make sure I spell checked everything and make sure everything flowed right, just having the second pair of eyes on it. And it was just one of those things where I just felt really touched by this whole story. And I want to share this poem with you because, I don't know, I felt like it's something where I'm supposed to share this today. And I don't know why, but maybe somebody out there might feel like it was meant for them. I put like a little pre-story before the poem, and it goes, sometimes we forget how blessed we are to have the people we love with us. Others might not be so fortunate and have to deal with missing a loved one. This is about someone who is missing his mother, but is surrounded by loved ones who can help him cope and to feel that his mother is always near him no matter what. And I named it Jessie's Song after Jessie. And it goes like this. I just wanted to let you know, to help you understand, that all is well and I am safe, for my Father is close at hand. I know sometimes it's hard to take when things don't go as planned, but please don't be sad or mad, because He took me before you could even stand. Be sure to know that through it all, you were always on my mind, that the hardest thing I could ever do was to leave you far behind. But in all your trials and tribulations, one certain thing you'll find, that I'll always be proud of you, because you're faithful, sweet, and kind. Remember, I'm always there to watch and to guide you along the way. Just be sure to stop and think of me. In your heart, I'll always stay. I'll never be more than a heartbeat away, though my face you may not see. Just a million or more heartbeats to go, and then you'll be there with me. And I wrote this in 2004. And like I said, I was typing this on the computer, and I couldn't even see the words on the computer because my eyes were so filled with tears. I made a copy of the poem and gave it to the grandmother. And I told her, I said, I just felt like somebody else was typing this. I felt like it wasn't even me. And I gave it to her, and then she picked Jessie up after school one day, the day that I gave it to her. And then she pulled off to the side of the road, and she said, let's read this together. And she shared the poem with him. And the thing that I didn't know at the time, she told me after the fact, after she read it, and she came to see me the day after, and she said that Josie's mother had actually written a letter, and it was basically, saying, when she was expecting him, and she said that the letter was almost exactly like the poem, that the letter she wrote her baby, the infant, newly born child, was basically saying that she was always going to be thinking of him, that she was always going to be there with him no matter what. And when the grandmother shared that with me, of course, we both start crying. But I just wanted to share that with you, because I don't know, we all go through times in our lives where we lose loved ones, and we don't know why. But we have that sense of knowing that, when someone is part of God's family, that there's going to be a day where we get to be with each other again. And even though Jessie was missing his mom, he had his dad and his grandmother and so many loved ones, and us teachers. We loved on him and made sure that he was cared for, and that he always felt like he was always loved. And I think that's just something that we all need to do, is when we know that there's someone who's missing a loved one, that we love on them and help them, to know that even though that person might be gone, that there's other people around who will love on them and be there for them. And it's okay to miss somebody. It's okay to be sad when somebody goes, but they're not ever alone. And I always felt like God allows us to, sort of watch over our children if we leave before them. And, I think that's just that peace of knowing that we have that person with us always, and they'll always be a part of us. So I just want to share that with y'all today, and just remind you that no matter what, that you are loved, that somebody cares about you, and if you lost somebody, it's okay to be sad, but there's always somebody there who loves you and who will be there with you. you myself, so I'm going to let you go. But again, as I always say, be a blessing, be blessed, and and listen out. God, you never know when God's going to call upon you to be there and just hug on somebody who's going through something. So just be aware that you can be that person that just loves on somebody who's going through a bad time, and you know what? They're going to be there for you when you're going through your bad time. So take care, and I will see you soon.